How did our third grade homeschool year go? Stick around and find out. Hi, I'm Aileen. This is Homeschool with the Clarks. If you're new here, I am a homeschool mom of 4. This past school year, I homeschooled kids in 8th, 6th, 3rd, and TK. Today, I want to dig into our third grade homeschool year. I did go back and watch my curriculum picks video from the beginning of the year just to share what changed, what stayed, how it all went. And if you do want to watch my third grade curriculum picks video, I will tag it up here, and it is also on my playlist of 2025-2026 homeschool picks. I have like a whole playlist of all of the grades, and I'll be linking the recaps in there as well. We actually had some changes right at the beginning of our third grade year. I shared that we were going to stick with the good and the beautiful math and do third grade math. We had started third grade math towards the end of second grade, and it was a little bit overwhelming and was ending in a lot of tears. And so we hit the pause button and did an IXL workbook for the rest of the year. And then I was getting ready for us to start third grade. I was printing all the things out, getting everything together. And my daughter was like, "Mom, can we please not do the good and the beautiful math?" And it was the day before or 2 days before. It was right before school was supposed to start. And I was already had it in my mind that all of a sudden, we were ending in tears, and before she really liked math and was really successful in math. And so I said yes right away. I wasn't sure what I was going to move to. And what I ended up doing was ordering Horizons Math third grade and Math with Confidence third grade, both from Amazon. We had used Horizons in the past. In fact, we switched from Horizons to the Good and the Beautiful because they had manipulatives and games that I thought she would enjoy. But Horizons is very similar to the Good and the Beautiful in my mind. It's very colorful. I bought both with the plans of returning one and just let her look through both and let her choose. And what she ended up choosing was Math with Confidence, which we had never used before. I know a ton of people talk about it here on YouTube. I have friends in person who use it. So I definitely heard about it. It seemed very similar to the Good and the Beautiful to me, and I was open to giving it a try. And from the outside, it is similar to the Good and the Beautiful because it's very colorful. It also has manipulatives. My complaint is it does not have a math box, which I love about the Good and the Beautiful. You do have to collect your own manipulatives, but once you do, the trick is you gather everything. It's you need the fraction circles, you need counters, you need 2 decks of cards, you need a little clock, you need a ruler, maybe something else. Put it all in a little plastic tub and bring it to the table when you do math. That's it. Oh, you need play money too. My play money didn't fit in there because I got that really big Melissa and Doug one in the wooden box, which I love. I highly recommend, but you just grab it all and you bring it to the table and then you have it. So I wish they had a math box, but that worked for us once we put it together, but it can feel overwhelming at first. There are a ton of games and it is incredibly teacher intensive. And that can be a turnoff for some people. And I have heard that some people will skip the games and skip the teacher lessons. And I think that that's where it doesn't really work as well because the games are where they're learning their math facts. She went into the third grade not knowing how to multiply and not knowing how to divide. And we just finished third grade and she has 1 through 10 multiplication and division memorized. And it's because of the games. The games are fast, they're easy, they're pretty fun. But it does take that mental energy to go and read in the teacher manual and figure out how to play the game or refresh yourself. It'll say go back to page 216 to read the instructions for the game. And so you have to go back and remember because there are a lot of different games, but they're so effective, so effective. She had a great math year. Her complaint is she had to wait for me to do the lesson. And because I'm a homeschool mom of 4, I wasn't always available at the time that she would have liked to do the lesson with her. She would really like something more independent for next year. But I feel like it was a huge win. It was really, really successful. It was very easy to implement. It was scripted, which I love. I love a scripted curriculum. I would not say it's open and go because they cannot open the workbook and do the work by themselves. They can do the review page, but they can't do the lesson by themselves. The instructions are not even written in the book. And so you really have to have the teacher manual and the teacher has to be there. From my understanding, that's how it is for all of them through level 6. We'll see. So that's, I would say, the only downside if you want your kid to be more independent. But in third grade, I really wanted my child to be doing math with me anyway. So I thought it was a huge win, and she has her math back. So yay. And now let's talk about English. English, I ended up bringing back a curriculum that I used in my first year of homeschooling when my oldest, who's about to go into high school, was going into third grade. That was our first year of homeschooling. And it is Moving Beyond the Page. People have a love-hate relationship with Moving Beyond the Page. We don't use their science and social studies. We did one year, but we don't because I like family style. But I love their English. And there was a time where I was really burnt out by it, but I've just learned my motto, which is you don't work for the curriculum, you make the curriculum work for you. And that is what you have to do with Moving Beyond the Page. Now, I will say that with my other students, I was using Moving Beyond the Page, and then I was also using a separate writing and curriculum. And so I had to be more intentional with picking and choosing the assignments that they did. And if you want to watch those videos, that's for 6th and 8th. I combined Beyond the Page and EIW. And so you can watch those videos if you want to see how I did that. But for my third grader, she only did Beyond the Page. We did the levels ages 7 to 9, which was their third grade. I do think she could have actually done their fourth grade, which was ages 8 to 10, because she had done the Good and the Beautiful language arts level 3 in second grade. The reason why I didn't was because I thought she would really enjoy the books from 7 to 9, and it is not a race. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. She doesn't need to be like way ahead of the game in everything, you know. I just really wanted her to enjoy the books, and she did. She loved the books, most of them, right? I mean, your kid's not gonna love every book, but overall, she really enjoyed the books. There were certain ones that she was really looking forward to. I know she was chomping at the bit at the beginning of the year to just get started. And Charlotte's Web was a huge hit for her. She was so excited to watch the movie afterwards. We ended up doing like a family movie, and we made themed snacks, and it was so fun. And what I love about Beyond the Page is that, you know, it gets them reading really good books and then does a good job of incorporating other things. It had her doing lots of journal entries, so she did good writing. It introduced paragraph writing and introduced multi-paragraph writing. In fact, at the end of the year, we do homeschool through a charter in California, a homeschool charter school. And so because of that, my kids have to do state testing, which I'm okay with. I do not teach to the test, but I'm okay with them taking the state testing. This was her first year taking state testing, and I was worried because they have an essay component, and I always feel like third grade is too young for them to be writing essays, and that word can be a little bit scary and daunting to an 8-9-year-old, right? But when we got to state testing, I was like, okay, it's going to ask you to write an essay, but you can just write it, like trying to explain it to her, like you can do this and say that. And she's like, Mom, I got this. And then she went and she took the test, and they ended up breaking it into 2 days. And she's like, I've already written 3 paragraphs. I think I'm going to write 2 or 3 more. Like, she was so free. Like, she wasn't afraid. She just felt like she was just empowered to write. And I do feel like Beyond the Page did a really good job of instructing her on that. Now, it's not good for every kid. If a kid needs really, really explicit writing instruction, then I do recommend using a separate writing curriculum. Maybe not in third grade, but at some point, like for my older kids, I did for middle school have them use EIW. I don't know that I'll need to do that for her though, because she seems to just get it, right? Because every kid is different. So that worked really well. They did a really good job of incorporating like crafts and projects. She had to write her own like reader's theater, and then we sat around the dinner table and read it as a family. It was lovely. I loved it. I highly recommend it. Try Beyond the Page. You don't have to do every worksheet. Pick and choose what works for your kid and what you want your kid to learn, and skip the rest. Really, it's okay. Just skip the rest. I loved it. We also started cursive this year. We used the Good and the Beautiful cursive level 3. And that uses a little bit of like manuscript, but it's mostly cursive, and she knows how to write in cursive now. She definitely needs more practice. We'll continue next year, but it was a good year of learning cursive. She can sign her name in cursive. She can read cursive. So I thought that was a success. So for her like elective / enrichment / PE. She did gymnastics. This was her first year as a competitive gymnast. And so that was a little bit different because she is on a homeschool team and they practice during the day. So the first half of the year, she was doing 2 hours a week, 2 hours a day, 2 days a week. And then in spring, they increased that to 4 hours a day, 2 days a week. That did make things more challenging, especially for our family studies like history and science, because we usually do those first thing in the morning and she had to go to gymnastics in the morning. So it was good. She loved it. She loved competing. It was such a fun experience. Obviously, great exercise. Schedule-wise, it was a challenge for me, but that's a me problem, not a her problem. In addition, she did do music. She took Hoffman Academy piano all year. She had fun with that. She finished their first level and moved on to level 2. And then she did also do Adventure Club with her older sister at our church, which is like Awana, and they meet once a week in the evenings and, you know, do some memory verses and stuff like that and play games. And so I felt like it was a really well-rounded year of enrichment for her and she had fun. We did obviously cover history and science and geography, those things as well, but you'll have to wait to hear about those in my family studies video. After I share this video, I'll be sharing my TK recap and then I will share my family studies recap. So if you want to watch those, please subscribe to my channel. And if you liked this video, I'd love it if you could give me a thumbs up and I will see you next time.